primarily a hosted provider of site search and faceted navigation that we kind of integrate with 3DCart. We've made that quite simple. And today we're going to introduce the 3DCart community to some great new functionality that we have. Agenda, we're going to start out with defining our tagline. So our tagline, Findability Unleashed, is really key to what we do. And from there, we're going to kind of drill into a lot of the specific parts of Searchspring, site search, and then faceted navigation. We'll also have some secondary functionality that applies to Facebook, mobile, a little bit of SEO, and some pay-per-click functionality as well. We've got a great case study of an integration and implementation between 3DCart and Searchspring that we've got some great hard analytics results to kind of show you the potentially what you can achieve, what some of our customers have achieved. And then, of course, we're going to talk a fair amount about the integration and what does it take to get the system up and running, and of course pricing, and then we're going to do whatever questions and answers you folks have from there. Again, just type those questions into the interface in GoToMeeting, and we'll address them at the end. So let's start by defining Searchspring's tagline, Findability. So maximizing sales by making it easy and intuitive for shoppers to find and compare the right products. And it mostly boils down to two areas. Site search. This is people who are in your store already, and they're typing in those queries. This is the age of Google. A lot of your shoppers are just going to go straight to that search box, type in what's important to them, and what comes back is very important to your overall success. Also, the kind of faceted refinements that we add to the site search result pages can also be put to use for your shoppers who are browsing, not searching, into your category pages. So with defining findability, I'm going to bring up a site that we're all familiar with, Amazon.com. And Amazon.com is not powered by 3DCart or Searchspring, of course, but it's a great example that a lot of the giants of the industry have really kind of decided that a certain type of findability is really maximizes conversion rates, and that's primarily faceted navigation. So what you're seeing here is a screenshot. I went to Amazon.com and searched on the term camcorder, and we here at Searchspring kind of call this the moment of truth for findability. This is when a shopper is presented with an overwhelming number of products, in this case 819 products. So this is that moment when there's some potential danger for a shopper to become overwhelmed, maybe even get frustrated, maybe even leave the site. So only bad things can happen there if it goes wrong at this point. So basically what we can do actually is turn that into a positive with primarily, first of all, quality search results. The intelligence of what we're showing here is huge, and we're going to talk a lot about that in just a few minutes. But on the left nav here, we have what's called, or what we call in our vernacular, faceted navigation. This is a key part of findability in the Searchspring philosophy, as well as a lot of the giants of the e-commerce industry have just shown that it's the best way to maximize your conversion rates. And what makes faceted navigation really unique and powerful are just a few things. So first of all, it really sets shoppers free from any sort of predetermined path to the right product. They're refinements that they can click really in any order that makes sense to them. So one shopper might click into a zoom range, and then a brand, and then a megapixel, as you see here. Another shopper might do the same thing in the opposite direction and get down to the same few products. So it's really, in this sense, it's the complete opposite of forcing your shoppers down a rigid hierarchy of subcategories, which is really not ideal. So the second thing that's pretty unique about findability as we define it in faceted navigation is that the navigation refinements are dynamic. So once they click any one of these, the product set shown updates, and all the refinements that are still that they've drilled down to also update. So at any point in their navigation, they can really visualize what choices they have left. It makes it really empowering and intuitive for the shopper to drill into a large results set. Let's take a look at the next slide. What I've done is I've brought up a screenshot of a shopper who hasn't searched to the camcorders, but who has browsed to the camcorders. And once again, that moment of truth kind of comes back up, and they're presented with an overwhelming number of products, about 800 plus products. So I want to illustrate that faceted navigation on the left side is really, it applies to large product sets, either in categories, category pages, or in search results. It has the same effect of getting shoppers to the right products as fast as possible, as intuitively as possible, and the result is they'll convert significantly higher. It also has the effect, you've noticed when I switched over from a search result page to a category page, there's a wonderfully consistent look and feel across both your search world of your site and your browse world of your site. Really brings them two together in a great kind of consistent look and feel. Let's take a look at Zappos. Again, I said almost all of the giants of the e-commerce industry have decided this is the best way to maximize your conversion rates in terms of search and navigation. Here's a search result list for dresses. Here's a result list or a category page browsing to a dresses category. Faceted navigation is really the big feature to get those users to the right products fast and easily. So a little bit more about the difference between the site search world and the browse world. Searchspring is adding findability to both worlds. You'll notice from your analytics, typically only on the left pie chart there in the blue, only about 18 to 20% of your visitors are searching. However, if you look at the right pie chart there, the users that search can actually affect as much revenue in your store as users who are just browsing. And this is very interesting because this clearly illustrates boosting your conversion rates for both groups is really equally as important. And here's a snapshot of a Google Analytics that's illustrating this. The green line there is the users who are using search. Their conversion rate is 2 to 3 times higher than the users who were just browsing. So the results of adding quality findability to a site. It's all about sales and conversion rates, users who search, users who browse. But even most of the other key analytics that you want to be paying attention to and improving, findability will have a positive impact on. Purchase rate of new visitors, time spent on site, page views per visit, average order value, really all of the above. And when we get to the case study portion of the presentation, you'll really see a lot of the effect that a lot of these had kind of right before and after an integration with Searchspring and 3DCart. So site search and making it really effective for your audience really starts with making the search results intelligent. So out of the box, you need a handful of really core technologies to do that in an e-commerce setting. So stemming, this is where if someone searches on DVDs, plural, and it happens to be in your content that it's only DVD, the word is only DVD, the shopper still gets the hit. So it's really kind of cutting through minor variations in pluralization, tenses, dashes and slashes, punctuation. Spell check is very important. In Searchspring, it's important to be able to, we actually have a dial on it where you can turn it up to be more aggressive or turn it down to be more forgiving, and it's just tunable for your audience. Synonyms are huge because there's just a lot of terms out there that people are going to use, but it's really not in your content, but you really need to make that content equivalent to the terms that they're using. Autocomplete, you see that on Google every day. You know, as soon as you begin typing a query, it's that drop down that helps shoppers articulate their query, cuts down on misspellings. It's very familiar to shoppers, everybody out there. Also, in tuning your relevancy for maximum conversion rates, or your search relevancy, being able to just simply choose which fields to search is really the bottom line. Searchspring is going to go through the 3DCart API and pretty much bring all the attributes associated with your products back. You'll have a nice interface to first really start shaping your relevancy by just choosing which fields you want to search and which you don't. Then really helpful to shaping the relevancy is to be able to boost individual fields versus other fields. So very typically title field and description field, you give a little boost versus the rest of your fields. It's just really kind of helps the engine to weed out sort of the extraneous hits and really promote to the top of the list the right ones. Some other controls that you have over the relevancy, keyword match level is when you're saying, hey, if someone types in a 3-word query, it's got to match all 3 or just 2 of them or maybe just 1 of them. So it's really how precise or how forgiving is the relevancy going to be for your audience, so it's tunable. Search downgrade is kind of the same thing, but that's where it's actually breaking apart individual terms. And if you wanted to do that, you can turn it on or turn it down, but that's particularly nice for people who, for example, have a lot of shoppers who are searching on SKU numbers. We have some auto parts stores who really want to either let the shoppers search on the partials, or some of them just want exact match only, bring up that one part. So it's tunable to whatever optimizes it for your audience. Then in terms of other relevancy, we have a lot of customers who, for example, they want to promote seasonal items. So in the fall, when someone searches on dress, they bring up their fall dresses. In the spring, they do the opposite. And the way they do it is they simply pass a field, a numerical field, to Searchspring that gets weaved into the relevancy calculations. So it gives you great control over really anything that you want to weave into the relevancy algorithm, such as showing newer items higher in the result list, or showing a certain brand or manufacturer higher in the result list. Really, the sky's the limit with that. And then a couple other things that really affect the intelligence of the site search relevancy: Intellisuggest and merchandising. And we're going to talk about those individually here in just a moment. So Intellisuggest is actually leveraging historical shopper behavior to benefit the intelligence of the relevancy ranking. It's actually using JavaScript page tagging on the product pages and the basket pages all the way to checkout, so that, for example, if someone searches on SUV, it'll actually notice what those people that searched on SUV clicked on and put in their basket and ultimately checked out with, so that the next time someone searches on that same term, it'll promote those items people are really gravitating to. So it's really a great way to put your relevancy tuning almost on autopilot, just with people voting with their feet. What are they gravitating to for each query? Merchandising is a very powerful way to affect the relevancy of your search results, as well as bring up a lot of special functionality such as promotional banners. So in this case, someone has searched on a brand name, and what it's been told previously is to bring up a promotional banner and place it right there at the top of the search results. The other things that merchandising can do is hard code the order of results. If someone searches on this brand and you want, hey, here's number 1, number 2, number 3, you have complete control over that in the merchandising module. This all applies to other triggers like refinement clicks. If someone clicks on a particular brand and you want some special behavior to come up, that's what merchandising does. And product compare is another great way to help shoppers make that final decision and purchase. So they get down to a handful of products. They want to put them side by side and really visualize their choices. This is another thing that Searchspring has integrated to the whole system that allows them to, visualize their choices and, once again, make a purchase more often. The administrative control that Searchspring brings to a store is really, we almost gain more customers with this one screen here than almost any other. It just gives you a wonderful little interface. Once you've connected to the 3DCart API, your fields are brought into an interface like this. You've got checkbox control over what do I want to do with my fields. You can tell the engine exactly. You can say which ones do I want to display in the search results, which fields do I want the shoppers to be able to sort by, which fields am I going to build the drill down facet refinements, which ones are going to be in compare, which ones are searchable, and give a boost to any individual field, such as I mentioned, title and description typically, or you give a little boost to. In terms of the UI and the look and feel of how you kind of make that consistent with the rest of your site, Searchspring typically utilizes Ajax to bring the search results into your any page you want. So before the search results and refinement bars are dropped into your pages, there's a set of templates that allow you to really customize that to really any look and feel that you care to have using CSS and control over that. Let's look at some of the analytics that you get. Of course, knowing what's going on is big, and actually today is the first time we're kind of showing any of our customers or prospects a new integration that we have. What you're looking at is actually some of the old analytics that we always have, but there's a new screen in here that's actually bringing in analytics from Google Analytics. So we're actually right inside the Searchspring admin interface. You're able to really see the dollars and conversion rates of a lot of things, which is, of course, even deeper analytics to take action on. So this screen is really showing you kind of what I was illustrating before. While you've only got 9% of your visitors using search, they're making up 21% of your revenue. And you can also see over on the right there the conversion rate of your site search users are just like the industry stats say, 2 to 3 times higher than users who are just browsing. But even more interesting is when you start breaking it down to a query level. This is where we're providing you some great analytics to do that optimization. Use that merchandising module, synonyms, everything. You direct your attention down the left side there. There's 3 queries, Fox, Shoey, and Fuller right there in a row. These are 3 brand names that are very prevalent in this particular store that we brought this in from. Again, this is all being brought in from Google Analytics, and you can see the conversion rate on the right for Shoey is doing great. It's above the store average for site search. But Fox is a real problem. You're getting 0 sales from 102 searches over this 5-day period, or approximately what we took these stats from. So this is great actionable information where now you want to say, you know what, I want to make more conversions with Fox. I'm gonna wire it to a synonym. I'm going to create a merchandising campaign potentially. You've got a lot of tools in there to really address that super low conversion rate. But it all starts here when you're really kind of looking for those problem queries that are just really underperforming for you. So Facebook we have a Facebook app that allows you to really engage your shoppers with high quality findability. It's a Facebook app that essentially brings the whole interface into your Facebook fan page. In this case, our customers got it under the Browse product, a tab called Browse Products. And essentially you have the search as well as the navigation, and you can really is very configurable in terms of the banner that comes up, and when they click on the banner, you can really control what shows up, and you can also, these navigational links on the bottom right, you can really control exactly what those take people to, and typically a search or a click is going to take them to kind of what looks like our typical faceted navigation. And of course, it's this Facebook app. It's going to leverage what you've already kind of configured with your refinements and your relevancy and your synonyms and all those other optimizations that you've done. Same thing for mobile sites. We have a very special implementation. Mobile has been an interesting one for us because just the super limited screen space of mobile devices has made more shoppers gravitate to that site search function. So enhancing that capability on top of your 3DCart mobile site can really drive some more conversions as well. And what we're kind of illustrating here is just that if the shopper does a simple search like faucet, they'll get 195 items. If they click the filter button, they can bring up a real simple list of filters. And after they click a couple, here the picture on the right, the shoppers clicked on kitchen and then $40 to $60 into a price range, and they get down to 6 items that they can, make a choice from and make a purchase more often if you just make it easy for them to get to that point on mobile. There is an element of SEO in Searchspring, and it pretty much works like this. Searchspring automatically builds landing pages based on the queries that your shoppers are typing in. And it gets Google and Yahoo to come in and spider index those landing pages, and it attracts a nice supplement of free organic traffic for it. Now this is an actual, we call it our SEO search cloud. It's on a site called batterymart.com, and I've highlighted one of the queries. It's a really unique forward queries, and these are the kind of queries we really do some good for you. The more unique, the better. Even the more long tail. There's a view of the actual landing page. If you click on that link, it'll take you to the landing page, and it looks like a search result page, but it's actually just a special page optimized for that term. And if you actually go to Google and search on that term, you'll actually find the very first organic hit is a Searchspring generated landing page. You'll notice it's in the batteries.batterymart.com subdomain. It's really the only part of a product that you have to deploy through a subdomain, or you can proxy it into your www domain, but typically it's kind of deployed through a subdomain. So if you click on that link, it'll take you to that landing page. So kind of something that runs on its own, and it just attracts a nice supplement of free organic traffic for those super unique queries. There's an element, so a lot of our customers utilize the faceted navigation in their pay-per-click campaigns. So basically what they're doing is they're utilizing the faceted navigation to create super targeted landing pages. In this case, you'll see that the query stainless steel Whirlpool refrigerator brings up a hit in the pay-per-click to a customer of ours called #1 Direct. And if you look at the landing page they take it to, it's their Searchspring faceted navigation. They just configured this page to be super targeted because they clicked Whirlpool, they clicked refrigerator, they clicked stainless steel, and boom, they've got a URL for a super targeted pay-per-click landing page. If you actually scroll down here, you'll see that when the shopper or when the person from the search engine clicks through to this page, even here it's a nice targeted list of products, highly relevant. But then from there, they can still click into a price range. If you scroll down, there's options for clicking into things like ice dispenser and water dispenser, things like that. So the shopper can then even drill farther down into them if they care to make that pay-per-click campaign even more effective. So how's this all implemented? Searchspring is something that is configured to be very easy to implement. You can actually do it on your own by coming to our site and signing up, and it will walk you through a 10 or so step wizard. And basically the way it does it is it goes through the 3DCart API to acquire the product information. It automatically reindexes it once per day, so you never have to worry about it being fresh. You do not, unlike some other search products on the market, it does not require a subdomain. And that's because our AJAX user interface basically just requires several lines of AJAX code to insert the search interface, the search results and the faceting into either your search result page or your category pages to bring in Searchspring. So you can insert that anywhere you want it, www domain or any page you want. The other nice thing about adding it to your category pages is that it really doesn't affect your SEO, because it's inserting the AJAX into your existing category pages, and when the Google and Yahoo spiders come in, they largely see the same page that they always did. They follow the same links that they always did, and it largely ignores the AJAX. So it's great that way, because then when the shopper lands on the category page, they see the same page, except the navigation has been masked over by the AJAX code. So it's kind of the best of both worlds in that sense. I think I mentioned you've got great control over the look and feel, and Searchspring has a team of engineers on their sales staff that can really help you jumpstart an implementation. And we offer a 30-day free trial account with no obligation. You can cancel it before the 30 days are over. So a great case study on a mutual customer of 3DCart and Searchspring is it's a video game retailer called LukeyGames.com, and they've got about 12,000 products that came to us a few months ago and wanted that findability in their site search, as well as the faceted navigation of their category pages. And they really wanted to leverage their attributes for price ranges, what platform, Nintendo versus Wii, etc., in and out of stock, condition, genre, action versus horror versus whatever, maturity rating, and then they also wanted that relevancy control, really control what comes up when people do the searches. So the results so far have been fantastic. Lukey Games pulled their analytics and showed us that there was a 21% increase in sales right off the bat. And they really kind of said, we attribute most of that to this integration between 3DCart and Searchspring. They said there's no other changes in there. Advertising and marketing, other website changes, it was all done during a part of their year that's traditionally pretty flat. The ROI was, for every dollar they pay Searchspring, they make $3.43 back. So just tremendous, kind of ROI from their gross profit. And then the other positive things: average order value, pages per visit, time spent on the site, and just a lot of customer feedback of it's just easy to find things. It's easy to it's fast to find products compared to the way it was before. And then they also kind of commented, got a lot of compliments on just sort of the consistent look and feel across the search and the category world where shoppers are finding products. So pricing for Searchspring, it's typically based on the number of queries that you have, and unless you have really lots and lots and lots of products, as some as you do, but it usually boils down to the number of queries per month. So you'll buy a bucket of 10,000 or 25,000, 100,000 queries for the month, and typically most of your queries come from site search. If you have, you can opt to just install site search. If you install faceted category navigation, then all of those clicks then become queries as well. They're all interpreted as the same, queries by the system. And then Facebook and mobile and SEO also, you don't actually have to pay for those modules, except for the basic and the standard don't include all of them. Once you get to premium, they're all there. But in terms of how they contribute to your query count, Facebook and mobile and SEO, they're going to be pretty minimal compared to site search and faceted category navigation. So that's a quick overview of what we do and kind of how we work with 3DCart. Let's see, do we have many questions so far?
There's one question, but I'm not sure if that would be better for a private email.
Yeah. Just a moment.
Oh, one new question that came in. Do you have a free 30-day trial? I believe that was mentioned in the presentation. You do offer that? Do we? Oh, there we go.
Let's start with probably the third question down. Yes, we have a free 30-day trial. The question is, do you have a free 30-day trial? Yes. All of the accounts that you can sign up for come standard with a free 30-day, no obligation period.
Excellent. I personally did have a question. When it comes to the design aspects, you mentioned it was pretty easy. Is it kind of like a GUI interface, or is there some coding experience necessary?
For which part? I'm sorry, Henry.
For some of the design look and feel of the filters that you have on the interface itself. Is there any? Do you need coding experience, or is it pretty easy for a layperson to design?
You do need a little coding experience if you want to implement it yourself, and of course doing ongoing changes. We made it as simple as possible to really kind of cut and paste Ajax from Searchspring into the templates of 3DCart. But yeah, you're gonna want to know a little bit about CSS and HTML to style it up. So I'd say minimal coding experience, but you do need a little bit there. But I'll also reiterate that for new customers, our engineers can really help jumpstart that process, or even complete it for you. So on a case-by-case basis, we really help out new clients quite a bit in getting up and running.
Okay, excellent. One new question did come up. Are there any costs associated with 3DCart implementation? The answer to that I can handle. No, it's pretty much free integration. We've been pushing towards that a lot with some of our partner providers, where the integration, we're trying to build it in automatically onto the store, so that it's less cost for our merchants. From what I understand with Searchspring, in this case, everything's being done through API, so Searchspring is connecting to the 3DCart API to grab all of your products, so there's no charge for that. And I think I just answered the other question after that one. So is all the search function sitting in 3DCart, or does it go to the Searchspring server? Well, Dewey could probably correct me if I'm mistaken, but it'll grab your product information from API, I'm assuming, and then all of the search is done on the Searchspring service and placed on your pages through the AJAX scripting. Is that correct, Dewey?
That's correct.
Okay.
Most of the processing is being done on our servers, so the queries are being fed to our servers as they're being done, and then the search results are then being created on our servers, styled up through our templates, and then dropped into the 3DCart templates kind of on the fly, utilizing AJAX.
Okay. And it looks like another question that came up, I think we answered already as well. I'm currently using HTML pages for SEO purposes, which are linked to 3DCart pages using custom file names. Again, with the AJAX implementation, I guess it'll still use whatever SEO you have on the main page, wouldn't it? Because the search results are within the AJAX frame, I guess you could say. Is that correct also?
I'm sorry, I'm still reading that question.
Oh, that's all right.
You know what? Let me have Scott answer that one just a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, Henry, we would probably have to dive into that conversation a little bit more, but off the top, our first answer would say yes.
Okay.
Most likely we can do that.
Okay, excellent. And I think we have time for one more question here. It's actually a follow-up to a previously asked question. So as the SKU number gets updated or discontinued or updated as a new SKU, it's dynamically adjusted. Again, I'm going to take that one. I think I have the answer. You guys update it nightly, if I remember correctly from the presentation. So if something,
that's correct.
Right. So if something were discontinued on the 3DCart store, it should be updated. I do have a follow-up. Is there a manual process of updating the product listings? I realize that it does it nightly, but is there like also a button that can be clicked saying, let's say you're making changes to your site, you remove a product or you have to discontinue it right away, can you just click something and have it index right away?
For people who need more than once a day indexing, we work that out on a case-by-case basis. But
Gotcha.
Yes, there are things that we can do to update individual items faster than once per day.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that does it for our questions here. What we normally do for these webinars is we'll go through the questions again afterwards, and if there's any we missed or something we needed to follow up with, we'll do offline with the with the merchant, and we'll make sure to get the answers there. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and especially thank Dewey here for presenting for us. It's a pretty cool product offering, and I think a lot of our users can definitely take advantage of it. So again, thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone. Have a great day.
All right.